This is Building Progress, where we discuss trends and real-life events that are impacting construction job sites today. I'm your host, Mike Gerber. Today, we're streaming live from Builders Mutual. Those of you watching in real time can chime in with comments and questions, and we'll be able to respond. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a team member watching for your input, and we're looking forward to having you engage with us. Builders Mutual has been focused on safety and the innovative ways our customers, partners, and industry peers are improving safety on the job site. This podcast is no different. We have two guests joining us today to discuss safety innovations and how their organizations have been making an impact in our industry. First, we welcome Dave Francis, the National Safety Director of Little Giant Ladder Systems. Dave is passionate about job site safety, and he has some amazing insights and actions to share with our audience today. Thank you for being with us, Dave.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
We're also pleased to have Vince Juratovac, Operations Manager from Winchester Precast, joining us. Winchester Precast is this year's winner of the NHB Safety Award for Excellence in Innovation and Safety, an award they earned by identifying a COVID-related safety risk and developing a very unique solution, which we'll let Vince tell us all about. Vince, welcome to Building Progress.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, guys, let's jump in. Dave, can you share with our audience why you're so passionate about safety and what drives your commitment?
Falls has been a leading cause of accident and injury in the workplace for decades now. And we decided that instead of building the same product over and over again and hoping that the numbers would get better, we would actually try to design out some of the known problems with climbing products. And so we kind of tried to reinvent the mousetrap and develop ladders coming at it as a piece of safety equipment instead of just the standard ladder. And then also providing world-class training broadcast out to whoever we can so that we're kind of approaching it from two different angles. Train it as good as we can and then provide as good of a product as we can. And we just want to get people home at the end of the day, which is what we're all really about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vince, how about the same question for you? Why is safety on the job site something that drives you and Winchester Precast?
It's really important to us, Mike, to send everybody home safe each day so they can be with their families with injury-free. We're very detailed about our safety. We have a great team here, Ken Pratt, which is on top of things with our head safety division. Every day we try to strive to do better and make things safer. And that's where this invention came.
Thanks. That's terrific. Now, I know our listeners are eager to hear about the inspiring innovations that both of these companies have developed. Dave, although Little Giant has brought numerous inventions to market, we've all seen the infomercials over the years that certainly improve safety of construction workers. Which one would you like to highlight for our IBS audience?
Well, for that builder, we like to talk about this one right here because it really does a majority of what the customer needed it to, or the technician needed it to, and solved a lot of those really age-old problems with ladders. This one's going to allow you to get in all those hard-to-reach areas in that leaning position. So we had to redesign it to have a pad up here at the top and lock the legs in place. We actually designed this pad to rotate around so that if I was going to go into a corner or onto an outside corner or even on a stud in new construction, the top of that ladder wouldn't twist or turn. The bottom step of that ladder has a little ridge on it that we call the ground cue, and you can hear that and feel that. And we wanted to remind the climber the bottom step is different. 20% of the accidents happen when people step off early. And then we don't want people going up here on the top step, cheating, making those man decisions of I'm going to cheat and go up here where I'm not supposed to. So we designed this to just rotate around and go into a 10-foot extension ladder. So now I have a big standing surface at the top of my ladder. I can comfortably stand where I need to, get in all of those really hard to reach areas. And then we put a V-bar up at the top of that ladder that's going to go again to corners and studs and poles and lock the top of that ladder in place. And so we wanted to approach really how do people get hurt using something as common as a 6-foot A-frame, and how could we use that same material in just a different way to give them a safer product by design.
Now, that's a product that can be used on both residential, commercial job sites, but also for the average homeowner, could it not?
Yeah, correct. This really gets you in all those really hard to reach areas. Going up into an attic access, we don't want people jumping off the top of an A-frame. This ladder will just open up and get you right into those hard to reach areas that would be great for any homeowner or contractor.
I know you showed this to me before, that bottom step innovation that you have, that little, it's just a little audible noise, right? A clicking noise as they step. That's because you've seen a number of ankle injuries, but it just don't know they're at the bottom of the ladder.
1 out of every 5 accidents, or 20% of accidents, happen because people step off from here. They kind of miss that bottom step, or they're in a hurry and they just step back. They either step on something else and fall backwards, or they just hurt their knees or their ankles. And this is a conditioning tool to just remind the climber that the bottom step is different. Now when I climb down, I'm going to wait to hear that step before I step off.
I'm sure that saved a lot of simple angle injuries that can turn into something much more serious.
Yeah.
And I know your company has been steadfastly committed to more than just selling ladders. It's all about really driving safety on the job site. But can you talk a little bit about what drives your company's, that quest for innovation? Is it research and data? If so, where does this originate?
A lot of the bigger companies don't like to share their accident data. So what we did is we went to the end user, the technicians on the job site, and we said, what's your pain point? How are you being injured? What are the things that you need your product to do to help you be safer? And what we found out was people are hurt because ladders weigh too much and they're awkward and bulky. So we redesigned the fiberglass, which is non-conductive, to be 20% lighter than it has been. So we reduced that overall weight. The second thing was they stepped off early, and we created that ground cue to try and solve that problem. Mm-hmm. The third was not having the right ladder for the job, and so they were climbing up on the top where they shouldn't be. We designed that to open up straight to give them that extra length. And then the last, and the one that really causes the most fatalities and disabilities, was the ground's not ever level. And so people use bricks and boards, which they shouldn't do. And people overreach. And so they do this weird move where they stick one leg out and they try to counterbalance themselves so that they can reach that one last thing. And what we did was we created outriggers for our extension ladders that more than double the width at the base. So even if they are breaking the rules, that's going to add that extra stability. And then those legs level to the ground. So if you're out in a job site in the dirt, those legs would then drop down and level to the work surface. Yeah. So you're not using bricks or boards. And then for our bigger A-frame platform ladders, we've actually designed a 42-inch guardrailed cage system at the top of those platforms. So instead of figuring out how to tie off at height or maintain 3 points of contact, you would actually have a guardrailed system at the top of that platform ladder. So take the guardrail with you instead of trying to figure out where to tie off to. Mm-hmm. So a lot of, 4 or 5 known safety issues with ladders that we tried to address by design. Our motto here at Little Giant is prevent injuries and save lives. And so we try to make every decision, whether it's a customer service call or a design modification, Is this going to prevent an injury or save a life? That's the way we want to make our decisions in every aspect of our company. We don't want to be a ladder company. We want to be a safety equipment company.
And we've all seen it on the job site, though, Dave. The ladder hop, where the guy's, he's 4 foot over, he's up 20 feet, and he needs to move that ladder over. I'm guessing those extension, I guess, behavior in the end can't be solved by a product, but I know you guys have thought about that.
Yeah, I have a favorite picture in ladder safety that kind of tells the story. It doesn't matter really what we're doing or what we're teaching or the products that we're giving. You can see from this picture, there's always going to be somebody who's going to break the rule and try and get the job done with what they have. And so we try to provide the best training that we can, let people know what the dangers are, and really getting your employees to and from the job, so transportation, and then getting them up and down their work is going to be the two biggest factors in safety on a job site. And so you really want to talk a lot about work at height, fall safety, and ladder safety, which is a big part of falls.
Great information.
Thanks,
Hey, let's
Mike.
switch over, Vince. Maybe you could share a little bit about the unique and timely innovation from Winchester Precast that has earned the NHB Safety Award for Excellence, a big award. Tell us what the product is, what the driver for development was, and how it's positively impacted job sites, in this COVID area.
We were kind of pushed in the direction with the COVID, and we know there's germs out there all the time, but with COVID, it was a little bit more pressing to come up with a way to hydrate people without some kind of a touch mechanism. So normally people have a normal Gatorade container or some kind of a thermos, and they either, press the button to get their liquid out of the container, or you have a cooler and you have to reach into ice, which we now know COVID carries the cold. It doesn't die in the cold. So you always have to get to the bottom of that cooler to get that coldest beverage that you want. So it was either give people warm bottled water in a hot sun or come up with another way of dispersing the hydration. So, of course, what I come up with was a pumping unit that actually is all food grade materials. And basically you just, put your cup, grab a little cup here, give you a little demonstration. You just put your cup underneath and the liquid comes out, and you'll notice there's 2 more UV lights. So one UV light keeps the nozzle clean even when it ain't being used. So anytime it's being charged or the power is turned on, that UV light's constantly cleaning the outside nozzle that somebody might have touched their cup with that they used twice, right? But it's cleaning all the time. Then 2 more lights come on when the pump's actually activated. So you can safely hydrate people. And the neat thing is I find people are hydrating just to use the device more often. It's not just the safe innovation that, allows you to have this cooler, but it's also the fact that it's kind of cool to use and people tend to hydrate more often because it's convenient. And the neat thing is right now, it's not just summertime. Right now, we're actually using it with hot chocolate because it's 16 degrees outside and snowing. So, to keep people hydrated and to warm them up a little bit,
right,
we actually have hot chocolate in the container. So it's good from anywhere from 33 degrees to at least 130 degrees, because that's what we make our hot chocolate at. It lasts approximately 80 gallons of liquid. I mean, we've pumped over 80 gallons of liquid without a recharge. It runs on a lithium battery. So you can take it out on the job site and you can plug it into a cigarette car lighter or just use regular Walmart batteries if you wish to use that kind of, battery system. But this has a lithium battery, shows you indicator light, how charged it is. It runs so long, you usually forget to put the batteries on charge because it just runs, it seems, indefinitely.
It's a UV light that is the clean mechanism, and then it's got a motion detector.
It doesn't really detect motion, so when you walk by it, it doesn't turn on. There's no action because you don't want liquid all over your floor, right? You don't want
Right.
you actually have to be under the nozzle for it to actually activate. And as soon as you pull your cup away, of course, it turns off. So, they activate according to you being there. So you can fill any size, cups. Some guys will take their big container over there and fill it, or they'll just use the little cups, whatever they happen to.
Right. Right.
It keeps everything nice and cold like a regular container does. It's worked out really well for us. I mean, I figured it would only last during the summer, but we've been running them now for about 8 or 9 months, and they take abuse. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen them bounce across the plant, for somebody knocked them off a table, or so they're good for an industrial environment, and they definitely serve their purpose.
I mean, it was a great idea, but getting support amongst your peers, getting support amongst the employees, I guess, what was it that drew them to this, and how successful was it to actually get them to manufacture and put it on the job sites?
We have safety meetings continuously, to keep a safe environment around here, as safe as possible. And in one of the group meetings, it was brought up to our attention that, yes, people might have germs on their hands when they would push the button to get it out. But more importantly, the person took the cup and actually put it up on the spout, where the liquid come out. So they drank out of their container, and then they put that same cup underneath it there and did it again. So it was like, basically, you were kissing somebody that you really didn't know. With that in mind, I come up with the idea, okay, industrial control electrician by trade. So coming up with the, photoelectric eye is just an industrial control, and, the pump and the relays that are involved with the charging system. I just kind of put it all together.
Right.
It was mostly to keep our people safe. It's just,
Yep.
It blew up into, it worked so well. It was so convenient, so reliable. It blew up into, hey, can we make another one? Can we make another one? And now we're here.
How many did you end up putting together to get out on the job sites?
Right now, I've put out about 25 of them.
Okay.
Really didn't make this, Mike, to sell or to promote, but it just turned into such a great idea. We made it to keep our job site safer here at our plant. And then as people start seeing them, the little league coaches have come up to me and it's like, oh my God, the little guys come in, they're all sick, they share each other's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now, it's sporting events. People are putting these out there to, hydrate people on a sporting event, or just a backyard gathering with your family these days. It's really convenient, to put, lemonade or, whatever inside and feed your family with punch, so.
It's incredible what a crisis or what, a stressful situation in the marketplace, how innovation will come out, the best of people, really. The innovation will come out to solve that need. And it sounds like that's exactly what you've done. Just terrific. I'd be curious. You guys have both brought forth innovative ideas, but how do other companies do this? How do other builders, manufacturers, how do they spark innovation? This is one of the questions that came in. Innovation in their work environments to create great solutions like both of you have created.
We have people come in all the time with innovations because we've been an infomercial company in the past. It really is a pain point on a job site. And the technicians that do that job over and over and over again, day in and day out, know what those pain points are. So listening to the actual, the person who's actually doing that job and trying to solve those pain points. And congratulations on that pump system. That really is exactly the idea, is seeing that problem and that pain point, coming up with a solution that solves that problem, And we'll probably see that on Shark Tank or being sold all over the place by next year because it's such a fantastic idea.
Well, Dave, go ahead and place your order for 50 of those for your plant. I think Vince would appreciate that.
Yeah, we got people out there right now that are facing that same issue, and that's the first time I've seen it. So that's a fantastic idea. And Vince, congratulations.
The guys came up with the need. We came up with the need in the plant, and we developed it and put it out there, and it's working great because we haven't had any COVID in the plant from the plant. So, one of the things I can honestly say now, of course, we've implemented a multitude of things to prevent it. It wasn't just this.
Yeah.
This is just a hydration problem, just touching doorknobs and, taking temperatures and masks. And, we've really made the effort, and this is just the thing that topped off the cake, so we can hydrate people properly and, keep everybody safe doing so.
Vince, have you had to make a lot of other shifts in your operation because of COVID and addressing PPE and maybe some of your other processes, canceling meetings, anything else that comes to mind?
We do a lot of Zoom meetings now. Everything's Zoom meetings, or COVID Zoom meetings, our regular safety meetings, any kind of management meetings is all done by Zoom now. We don't have, and we're building up the employee appreciation. We always show our appreciation, to our employees for doing well with safety. And we've been putting them on the back burner because you got to get together for that. When it comes to lunch, we take lunch at different times because our lunch facilities are only so large.
Yeah.
As far as anything to do with any of our machines, the bathrooms get sanitized at least twice a day. Every soda machine, candy machine, anything that people come in contact with on a constant basis, it's sanitized. Every machine that we have here, like forklifts and loaders, our golf cart, has sanitizing hand sanitizer inside of them. Every department has hand sanitizers. We just promote constantly. We added extra sinks throughout the plant. We're promoting, clean hands.
It's a great commitment.
The door handles, so nobody has to touch a doorknob any longer. To be able to enter doorway, you can basically use your hiney and then be able to go out the door when it swings the opposite direction. We have L brackets, so you can pull with your forearm.
Perfect.
So it closes on its own, so you don't have to pull the door closed.
Now, Vince, you need Dave's really fancy studio that you have there. That is pretty incredible for training purposes. How have you? I mean, obviously, you haven't been able to be out on the job sites nearly as much as you have in the past. What other innovative methods have you had to implement to get training? Training out, the message out. Tell me what Little Giant's doing to really train in these limited conditions.
We have this studio, which is really kind of a Hollywood sound studio. And then we have an industrial studio that has telephone poles in the corner. We have a manhole cover in the floor that goes down into a vault, and we have our entire product line of stuff in this room with a little jumbotron in the middle. And we're doing right now up to 10 broadcasts a day to different companies. We've done all over the world, Australia, Japan, Bulgaria, in Africa, Europe, all over the United States. So we just try and give all of our outside people the ability to schedule these events all day, any day. And that can go out to 1,000 people at a time directly to their devices so they can be social distanced. We can do a safety meeting in multiple offices or multiple screens, and the manager can take roll call, and then we can do the little ladder safety training directly to those devices. And so we're trying to figure any way that we can still get out there on the job site to the technicians and do this training for them. And we've got Ladder Safety Month coming up in March. We have the stand down for OSHA the first week in May, and all of those events have ladder safety training, and those calendars are filling up fast. And we'll do all of those broadcasts here virtually instead of sending people out to try to go through the airports and stay in hotels and teach those face to face. So we can do all of those virtually now. And having these studios at the same time, we're a factory. We have those same problems. There's a factory 100 yards away that's running ladders 24 hours a day, trying to make more and more stuff back here in the United States. So we are still a ladder factory, and then we're broadcasting like a TV station out of our studios at the same time.
Well, I know in a perfect world, we'd be all on the show floor at the International Builders Show this week, and
right.
And I know you'd have one-on-one demonstrations, and you'd get a lot of feedback from potential clients and users. I do want to remind our Facebook audience right now to share some comments that you might ask at the in person at the show, but we'll give it a little time to make sure you put your questions in the comment section so that we can grill these two experts on advice that they might have to help your job sites. Both of you obviously have a huge commitment to safety on the job site, and it's clear, and it's such a critical issue that we as an industry need to continue to focus on, particularly as construction has remained essential in, I believe, nearly every state in our country. And I think it's been really critical, and particularly given the amount of housing shortage that we face. We have to continue to put new homes in production, and obviously do remodeling at the same time. And both of your products play a big role. Vince, I was thinking about how often I've seen that orange cooler on the back of that pickup truck. It's just so essential. We here in North Carolina live in a pretty hot climate, and you would not find a job site where we don't have one. So I can imagine your product, and even moving forward past this pandemic, that product makes so much sense to prevent the communication of other diseases, just a simple flu transmission. You have any thoughts on that, Vince?
I agree totally. Look, I've brought it up in our meetings multiple times. When this is all over with, we're going to continue down the same path. With the door handles, with the cleaning. It's not just the COVID. Who knows what's coming next, and what we've already had with just a simple flu. Why, give each other these, it's time loss at work. There's a lot to be said for just staying clean and healthy.
Well, guys, most of the comments coming from our users were just how incredibly impressed they are with both of your products, your commitment to safety and the innovation. There's certainly a lot of opportunity for innovation in our industry, and it's going to come from individuals like yourself, both on the job site, in the manufacturing plant, Dave, and would love to hear just any final word from either, any advice that you might want to share on simply saying stay on the job site.
I have two final, and that is whether you're on a job site or whether you're at home, stay off the chairs. They're the easiest thing to do, is grab a chair or a cart or a bucket and climb up on something that wasn't designed for that purpose. And that's really how the accidents happen, is cutting those corners. And then whether you're on the job or whether you're doing a project at home, keep your body between the side rails. Don't overreach. Don't do that one-legged balancing act. Don't become one of those statistics because you're trying to get the job done quickly so you can go back and watch the game.
Right.
Stay between the side rails and stay off those chairs.
How about you, Vince?
Mine is basically try to keep from spreading germs to each other. Why not try to do the best we can? There's no reason to take chances if it's not necessary. So do your best to stay safe. Keep at 6 foot distance if it's necessary, and keep the germs at a low rate.
Well, I think together, if we're committed to this idea of looking out for each other on the job site and protecting each other, not just ourselves, I think we can turn this corner, and within a short period of time, we'll be back to operating in, I guess, the new normal. Isn't that the saying that people like to say, the new normal? But hopefully there'll be more companies that have innovative ideas like both of you, that they can share to make our industry safer. We have a great industry, but unfortunately we still have accidents that take place. But our whole goal is to send those workers home each and every night to their family. And thanks to the help of both of you, we're able to make that happen. So again, I want to thank both of our guests today, especially during this virtual event. It's been really fun having our viewers be a part of the conversation, and they certainly gave you great kudos on both of your products. So
thanks, Mike. Thanks, Vince.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Be safe, everyone.
Well, that's about all the time we have today. Thanks again for joining us. Building Progress is a podcast from Builders Mutual. We're dedicated to protecting the construction industry through a wide range of commercial insurance products. At Builders Mutual, we have a passion for education, safety, and progress, and we're excited to share our expertise with our listeners. For more information, visit buildersmutual.com.